I was contributing to the equipment to run the orphanage so that the children would have food and enjoy school and so on. Money was being sent to Jakub, well, actually not to Jakub personally, but to the Czech Africa organization. It was a transparent account. Tanichka also had no direct access, but the card was only held by Jakub and Martin Chicho, but the account statements showed how the money was coming in. But there was always too little money. It was like they bought this and that, equipment, and so on, until I finally told Tanichka that this was unbearable, that it wasn't possible to keep sending money all the time, that it just didn't make sense to spend that much. And that's when she started having serious conflicts with Jakub.
So only after some time, when he could no longer keep pretending, because people like this can pretend maybe for a few months, but eventually their true nature starts to come out, that's when I started to find out how things really had been before, and that he was stealing the money for himself. That's when we realized that the orphanage wasn't what it was supposed to be. When we found out, at that time my parents and Mrs. Monika Katunska sent us enough money so that we could buy a house. It was mainly my decision, since it had been sent to me as a gift from my parents, so I decided, let's buy the house. And Mrs. Monika Katunska joined in. I really hope this reaches the sponsors, those who were sending money in good faith. But he used to say about them that they were fucking white people who would send money anyway, because they felt sorry for Africans.
But sometimes also he were like teasing the guys who are sending money. Like, we are doing this and this. We're expecting to get more money. The more, like, I don't want to insult here. More man, like something like that one, you see?
They did help a little bit, but it was just crumbs, since everything in Africa is very cheap. Yes, they did buy some food and a few things, but it cost just a few crowns. But the hundreds of euros, or Czech crowns, they were receiving, maybe even thousands, I don't know. They used all of that for themselves. They lived in abundance. They indulged in everything. Alcohol. Jakub definitely used that money to pay boys for sex and for drugs. Every time money came in, the first thing they bought was drugs. That was the priority. They were always high, every evening with some kind of leaves or whatever.
They don't have a passion to helping kids, but they was needing to spend the money for the kids, I know, who was buying drugs on street,
And with what has just been said by the witnesses, we are now coming to a subject that I personally find so repulsive that I didn't even want to believe it at first. The fact that Jakub Jal publicly called on people via social media to send financial donations to an orphanage that never officially existed is itself a disgusting scam. But what happened next with that money goes beyond all boundaries of humanity. Because, as was already partially mentioned in the eyewitness testimonies, Jal was using money intended to help children to buy drugs and pay for sex with African boys. But that's not all. The absolute worst part is how Jakub treated the children themselves. According to the testimony you're about to hear, he physically abused them.